Okie dokie. Let's see how we look. All right. Hope everyone's doing okay. Is this actually functioning worth a dang? Yes, it is. That angle sucks though. Again. Always does. That'll do. Cool. Hope everybody's doing okay. How's Tricks? Wasn't feeling great earlier today. I'm doing all right now. Happy World Pride Day. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you'll notice that there's no real specific topic. For this one, I have it listed as just Q&A live stream because I don't have any specific things that are on top of mind to address right now. So this is going to be a little bit more of a free-for-all. Now, fair warning, that does mean if I get hammered with questions, if you want your stuff prioritized, I'm going to recommend the super chat. Otherwise, I will catch them on as best as I can. Evening, waiting to hear if I get cast in 12 Angry Men. Oh, that's a fun show. I've been in that one. I was juror 7 for that. Hey there, Ian. Water again. I guess it's from a canal. Yeah, it's not the cleanest water in the world, but... What's your favorite movie? Ghostbusters. Return to Oz turns 35 on June 21st. What are your thoughts? I haven't watched it since I was in my early teens, so I don't really have any. Finally got the temporal sonic screwdriver. I also ordered a bi and gender fluid flag. Moving up in the world. Ooh, that's all kinds of swag. Nicely done. Looking forward to your time with the Doctor review tomorrow. Haven't rewatched in years. I just remember it being boring. I think it was the narrations. Yeah, that is an odd duck of an episode. It was interesting to go back and rewatch it. Which Ghostbusters? Love the shirt. Yes, thank you. This I actually got a number of things in from. This is from a friend of mine, Hi Ho Silver, designed this. They have a lot of great stuff up on their site. I don't think I have it in the description yet. When this gets archived, I will put a link to their online store in the description. Biggest prediction for Revolution? I don't have predictions. Seriously, people, don't ask me for predictions. I don't do that. How's your daughter doing? She's doing okay. It's going to be a weird summer. Okay, this may be a controversial opinion, but the Speed Racer movie is fantastic, flippin' awesome. Seriously, I recommend it highly. Never seen it. Thoughts on the rumors that the new Star Wars trilogy will be striped from canon? The franchise will be overseen by Favreau going forward. It's a rumor. I have no thoughts. That's long-standing. Until something's official, I don't have an opinion. First time live here, but been catching up on all the great videos you make. Thank you, Steve. Finally finished Buffy season 1, really mixed bag. Also noticed an episode that is similar to your favorite Real Ghostbusters episode. Yeah, they do have one that's not a million miles away. Did you know Derek Jacobi played the Master before Utopia in an animation called Scream of the Shalka? I did know that. I've seen it. I do need to rewatch it and eventually do a video on it. What are your thoughts on Basil the Great Mouse Detective, my favorite Disney film? I'm rather fond of that, and Ratigan's one of my favorite Disney villains. Very important question. What are your views on McDonald's Chicken Selects? Is there a view to be had? Is that like their sandwiches, or is that something they've got? I don't even know what you're... Out of curiosity, when it comes to Whittaker era... will they be included in your Doctor Who re-review? Given how long it's going to take me to get there, Series 11, probably. Series 12, that's a bit more of an open question. Thoughts on the latest TMNT reboot? I didn't even keep up with the last reboot, or the one before that. They reboot that franchise so freaking often. I cannot keep up. Rumor has it that Margot Robbie will star in the next Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. Again, rumor. If it's not official, I don't really have an opinion. Question that's been bugging me for years. Who do I argue with if I think The Last Jedi was just okay? Well, that means you can argue with everybody. Because that's basically where I, like, look, I have a lot more annoyances to say about the thing than others, but I don't think it's a bad movie. And I've gotten into plenty of arguments with people who make criticisms of it that I think are nonsense. So that just means you argue with everyone. Remember the awesome milkshakes that Zaxby's used to have? I don't know if that's a reference to something that I'm missing. I always feel bad if I feel like someone's dropping an in-joke and it just went over my head. Red Flags with Masterful and Big Finish. They released the poster and Delgado and Ainley are shown on. I think they may be recasting. Yeah, they already confirmed that they're having sound-alikes, which is not something that I love that happens. You're trapped on a desert island. What do you take? Well, a teleporter and get off the damn island. I'm not good for those kinds of questions. Do you like Hitchhiker's Guide? And if so, do you have a favorite medium to view it? I love Hitchhiker's Guide, and my preferred way to take it in is the audiobook version of the novels as read by Douglas Adams. Should Buffy have chosen Angel, Riley, or Spike? None of the above, because she was young and in a lot of really lousy, toxic relationships. She needs to be single for a while. Get good with herself. 5 Doctor Who stories, including being finished, if you were stuck on a desert island. I've made predictions to your answers. No, I'm not building a psychological profile. City of Death, Holy Terror, Silence in the Library, that 2-parter. What's that? That's 3 so far. Heaven Sent, Vincent and the Doctor. Kiss, Marry, Kill, all the new Who Doctors. That doesn't work. Kiss, Marry, Kill requires 3 people. We're on our 4th now? 5 if you count John Hurt? No, that doesn't work. Worst casting choice in the 2005 Hitchhikers movie. So I know. His name is all of a sudden slipping my mind. I don't know why. I know his name because I complain about him. Sam Rockwell. Jesus. Yeah, I hate that Zaphod so much. And I know he's not even the character who gets butchered the worst from a strict, in terms of how badly did they botch this perspective. But Zaphod's my favorite character in those books. And it missed the key reason as to why I love him as a character. Because the thing that's great about Zaphod in the books is that he acts like an idiot, not because he's stupid, but for any litany of reasons, including acting like an idiot is more advantageous under the circumstances, covering up the fact that he doesn't actually know what's going on, but wants to keep people off their guard, or he knows that there's people around him that will do the thinking for him so he doesn't have to. When the chips are down, if he has to work it out, he can. He's actually really smart. He's just lazy. And the movie just made him a straight up idiot. God, that ticked me off. Is it wrong to blame the showrunner if Doctor Who is a show lessens in quality, as we don't know what the BBC demands of them and what they as a corporation want for the show? I mean, is it right? Probably not, but since we don't know all the internal machinations at the BBC, that's about as high as we can go with criticisms. You know, unless somebody does a tell-all book, that's kind of all we got. It's fun to remember that Sarah Michelle Gellar was in I Know What You Did Last Summer and Buffy at the same time, then went on to be in Scream 2. Yeah, she was busy. When was Cruel Intentions in there somewhere too? Would it be a bigger challenge to watch all Doctor Who TV episodes or listen to all the Big Finish? It'd be a heck of a lot more expensive to listen to all the Big Finish. So if money is no option, I don't know. Big Finish still probably, because there's actually probably more hours of Big Finish than Classic Who. What Doctors would you like to see return for the 60th? What ones will actually do it? I would really love to see Eccleston back. I don't know if he'll do it. Like, as many as they can get, to be honest. You know, just grab Sylvester McCoy, grab Peter Davison, grab everybody you've got while they're still here. I mean, if Tom Baker doesn't feel up to it, we got him in the 50th. Okay, fine. If you could add regeneration as a concept to any other piece of fiction with no need to explain it, what would you pick? Ooh, that is an interesting question. See, the thing is, I was going to think of something like from comics, except comics just reboot their continuity all the dang time, which is effectively the same dang thing. That's a really good question. I wish I had a good answer for it. Ah, dang it. I don't know. Like anything that is meant to be an ongoing franchise, you could add that to and have a nice, you know, chance to revamp and keep it going kind of thing. But I mean, James Bond feels like the obvious answer, but I'm drawing a blank at a better suggestion. What I meant was that each new Doctor Who that we've seen gets the title Kiss, Marry, or Kill. Oh. I'm still going to respectively pass because I hate the premise of that game. Can I be completely honest? Like, I just don't like it. I think it's the terminology I don't like. You've seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World? I have. I haven't rewatched it in a long time, but my opinion of it as time has been going on, has been dropping. Like, don't get me wrong, it's phenomenally well presented. It's a really well-made film. It's visually inventive, but there are things about that movie that I'm just, ugh. And they should not have ended up together at the end of that movie. These are two damaged people that need to not be in a relationship right now. I got 3 right: City of Death, Holy Terror, and Heaven Sent. I thought you'd say Midnight and Empty Child / The Doctor Dances. Ah. Did you ever watch Twin Peaks? Nope. David Lynch is... I cannot tune into that guy's wavelength. Worst Doctor Who showrunner, including the classic era. Problem is, I don't know the classic era showrunners, like who was running what segments, well enough off the top of my head. So I'm actually going to pass on that. I now agree with you that the Bastion and Narada should not come back, but I'm going to try and write a hypothetical script where they do as a writing challenge. If you want to give yourself a writing challenge, that's fine. Any thoughts on The Expanse? Never seen it. Never read it. Don't know anything about it. I know that it exists. Have you read Deceased comic books? If not, it's basically DC response to the Marvel Zombies. Oh God, I hate Marvel Zombies! Ugh! No, I haven't read it. It kind of grosses me out that it exists. How would you feel about the Ronnie returning to... How would you feel about the Ronnie returning to Doctor Who? I think it will work because the only other Time Lord used as a main villain is the Master, and it is getting old. I don't like the Ronnie. I've never liked the Ronnie. I like some of the core concepts of the Ronnie, but they were done badly. And at this point, basically the entire Time Lord cast of Gallifreyans are effectively villains at this point. We don't need more singled out Time Lord villains. I have no interest in the Ronnie. None. If they get as many Doctors as possible for the 60th, do you think it will be hard to do each Doctor justice in one episode, two-parter perhaps? It depends on what you have them do. So like, for instance, the way they use Tom Baker in the 50th, he's in one scene. It's a couple of minutes, but it's brilliant and it's perfect. If you try to have them all in on the adventure from the start, yeah, that's going to be impossible to balance. But if you can find ways to have them touch base, have little moments to themselves that gets to be their moment, I think that could work. Do you prefer Chibnall's treatment of the Daleks compared to Moffat? He hasn't. I don't feel like I can pin down Chibnall's approach beyond reserving them for the specials, which I am in favor of. But like, what he's at. Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened. I kind of wish that Missy didn't regenerate yet, just because I would love to see Michelle Gomez and Jodie Whittaker play off each other. Yeah, I wish Michelle Gomez had stuck around too. What extra alien trait or characteristics do you think would enhance the Doctor's character? I'm not actually sure how to parse that question. The Doctor doesn't need more alien traits. They're just the Doctor. I feel like I just don't understand what you're asking. Should cereal be eaten throughout the day, or is it just for breakfast? Cereal's great for snacks. No shame in that. Regeneration would break any needlessly bloody series like Game of Thrones. Would have had characters who actually have to talk to each other and be way more fun / less shocking. Well, see, I don't feel prepared to judge it because I never read the books. I've heard much better things about the books than the show, especially now, that the show is wrapped up. Did you see Baby Driver? Yes. Got it in just under the wire, catching that in the theater not too long before the Kevin Spacey allegations broke. So, yeah. That was fun. It's a pretty good movie, though. I'm not in love with it. Edgar Wright is a very good filmmaker. I don't always love his movies, but I do enjoy them at least once. Have you watched Dark? Nope. Have you heard the allegations about Ansel Elgort? Yeah, I heard about that, too. Speaking of Baby Driver. It's really going to affect Spielberg's West Side Story. Yeah, quite possibly. If you could learn a fictional language, what would you choose? I feel like Klingon's the most fun sounding. Who would you like to see as the Doctor or the Master? I'm skipping that question. I did a whole video on viable Doctors, but dream casting is not really my headspace. If Harry Potter was remade, should it be a series with one book per season or as movies again? Okay, so setting aside my current feelings on not wanting to put any money towards Harry Potter anymore, aside for the moment, treating them strictly as narratives, if they were going to adapt them again, they should do it differently, and doing them as a series with each book being a year, which would allow them much more time to spend time in the classrooms, and that's a very easy way to expand and get the full runtime that you need without having to invent a whole bunch of plot hole cloth. You just come up with more classroom stuff in between to pad the runtime. So it's very feasible, and I think could work very well as a series. I don't think I'd watch it, but that's a whole other thing. Just saw your Harley Quinn review. I just love how if Dr. Psycho had said the C word C word in Britain, people wouldn't care in the slightest. It is funny to me that that word as a swear is way more acceptable in the UK. Ever watched Justice League Dark Apocalypse War? I have not yet. I'm afraid to. I've really hated the DC animated films based on the New 52. Let's see. Just saw last week's Tonight episode on OAN and it's left me mesmerized by the sentence, "Don't let transgender penguins fool you." Yeah, I saw that. That was a month or two ago they covered that nonsense. Yeah. Ultimate pitch, the Doctor meets the Justice League. Do you watch Jelly's Marble Runs? And if you don't, please do. I don't. Sounds like something my daughter would watch. Finally finished the last season of Angel. Wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't blown away. I'm sorry you weren't, because I still argue that Angel is one of the best series finales in television. Did you know that Helen McCroy was originally going to play Bellatrix, but then she became pregnant, so the role went to Helena Bonham Carter? I think I did hear that at some point, but it's not something that has really stuck in my head. What do you think about the idea that the TARDIS translates the story for the audience? I've never heard that. I'm not even entirely sure how that would functionally be different from it translating for the sake of the companions, and because the companions usually the POV anyways. Okay. Theory, what, oh boy, theories. I don't mean to be grumpy and dismissive, but like I've got videos on this channel about why I'm bad for fan theory. What if the Time Lords and Gallifreyans are just evolved humans? No! No! No. Do you like Doctor Who spin-off Class? But why would you look? But why do you look so much like recently canceled daily blogger Vera Wild? What happened to me? Is that considered being canceled now? Having one large YouTuber decide to make fun of me? Yeah, one of my friends saying is, you're either a good C word or a bad C word. I like that. And no, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ultimate crossover is Buffy and Torchwood. See, that I could buy. That I'd be up for. Only finished season 1 of Angel. Still got more to go. Season 1 of Angel's rough. It gets much better after that. The 1989 TV adaptation of The Woman in Black is finally getting a Blu-ray release. The lead is Adrian Rollins, played Daniel Radcliffe's dad in You Know What. See, I saw the movie version of The Woman in Black that has Daniel Radcliffe in it, and it's really good. I love your rant on Bardcore. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Why the euphemism are you not talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender? Because I haven't seen it! God, you people. There's a comic book that has an interesting premise for the Weeping Angels. They offer soldiers in World War I an escape back in time. It's quite gruesome. One soldier staples his eyes open. Ugh. Yikes. World War I would be a good setting for the Angels. That's solid thinking there. Let's see. I'm sorry I made you drink. Have a chicken nugget. A calming chicken nugget. Thank you so much. There was apparently once a couple who decided to raise their kid with Klingon. It worked great until they had to go to school and learn English instead. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Well, on Apocalypse War, it centered around Constantine after the JL lost to Darkseid. Also, it's R-rated. Don't care. So some unnecessary cursing to make the movie be more edgy and gory. I really hate that. I've come to really, really resent things that seem to be R-rated for no reason other than swearing and a violence level that is not necessitated by the narrative or the characters of the story at all. It's just like, look at us, we're so edgy. No, you're not. You're sophomoric. You're juvenile. That's not mature. Ewan McGregor was my favorite part of Birds of Prey, and again, I am disappointed by them killing off the villain at the end of the film instead of continuing the story into the future. Here's the thing. I would agree with you if I felt that the DC movies had any plan firmly in place. There's no plan at this point. And knowing that there's no plan, I don't think there's a need to save villains for later use. The way that I would, the way that I'd be annoyed is something like, say, the Marvel movies, where there would be a reason for them to come back and be reused. Well, what are your thoughts on Helen McCrory as Rosanna Cavalieri in Vampires of Venice and Narcissa Malfoy? She's fine. Neither of those are particularly memorable roles for me. You're clearly a big Helen McCrory fan. That's great. Sorry, I'm not. I don't have a problem. It's just, she doesn't stick in my head. Please do an audiobook or ASMR. I love your voice. I really do need to try and find the time to record an audiobook version of Skirting Gender. That is on my to-do list. That and editing the friggin' novel. I've got so many plates spinning. It's ridiculous. When Angel really changes is the crazy gonads, even in the body of it, it starts changing. Can't wait for Masterful, though. One of the big reasons is the Eric Roberts Master is actually good in Big Finish. Well, I mean, he couldn't be much worse. That would have been a trip. That no terrified me. Apparently all humanoid life forms are based on Time Lords because of Rassilon meddling with the start of the universe. Is that better or worse? That is the same kind of bad. That is neither better nor worse. Stop tying everything together. I mean this for fans, for writers, you continuity hounds, stop making everything connected. When it creates a story to connect things, okay. But to connect it just to connect it, it doesn't make the world bigger, it makes the world smaller. The world, the universe, fictional or otherwise, is big enough that things just happen. Things are random. Not everything is related to something else. I know some continuity hounds really love to make everything connected. I hate that. Umbrella Academy. It's fine. I didn't love the ending because I don't love where they took that. It's been so long since I've seen it now, but the person who turned out to be the villain, I didn't love where they took that character's story. Have you heard the drama between Jeffrey and Shane? I don't even know who you're referring to, and I strongly suspect that if you told me, I would not care. I am grumpy tonight. I'm gonna apologize right now. I can feel it in my bones that I'm grumpy. I am sorry. Like, I'm legitimately sorry that I was so grouchy tonight. The point of the TARDIS translating for the audience is that the different tones are because the audience expectation changes and any pop culture is just, for us, not strictly canon. Well, that's kind of a fun way to remove the pop culture references, except that the pop culture references pretty much only ever come from characters who would know them, be they the Doctor or you know, somebody from Earth or what have you. So I'm not sure you need that as a way to explain it away. I mean, if you personally feel the need to explain it away, that's a neat headcanon reason for it, sure. I haven't seen the last Airbender, several people typing. Like, I feel like everyone should know that by now, that I haven't seen that yet. R-rated for no reason. Me hides my copy of the Torchwood sex gas episode. Oh, I hate that episode. Almost made me quit that show. That's how much I hated that. I have a question for you. Do you think about what if Doctor Who ever had to cross over with Clive Barker's characters like Nightbreed or the Cenobites? No, I've never thought about that. Although the Doctor encountering something like the Cenobites, I'd actually be kind of curious about. I feel like that would have to be like a companion-free story, but yeah, I'd be curious of that. Is cursing still juvenile if it's part of your culture? I don't know. Depends on the culture. Like, here's the thing. When I say cursing is juvenile, I don't necessarily mean in your personal interactions or your life. I mean in pieces of entertainment. So, like, if the way you talk with your friends or whatever is just to swear a lot, that's fine. But yeah, I was talking about movies. Trying to keep up with these questions, but I'm losing it. Are you excited for the Batman? Not really. I really need a trailer. What do you think of the Inquisitors in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? I haven't played it. Big Finish actually did create one of the best crossovers we needed but never asked for. Captain Jack and Jackie Tyler. Oh dear. Oh my. Have you read Doctor Who's Star Trek story Assimilation, and what is your opinion of it? I don't have one because I haven't read it. Why do I feel like you'd look good in clout glasses? If you don't know what they are, look up clout sunglasses. I'm going to have to look that up because I have no idea what that is. Okay, now that's bugging me. Oh. I've actually got a pair kind of in that style. They're not white though. Most of these are white. They're like, they're pink. I don't wear them because they're not prescription, because I got them like for, I think for a photo shoot ages ago. Here's something to put a spanner in the works for those continuity hounds. The Doctor's half human on his mother's side, as said in the TV movie. Yes, but we ignore that because it was stupid. See, that's my opinion to continuity. If something is stupid or doesn't make sense, just ignore it. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to retcon it. Just don't talk about it. That is a much better solution in my mind. Have you seen Broadchurch? I saw the first series. I've actually got reviews up on the channel from a couple of years ago. I didn't feel the need to keep going. It was good, though. Angry when the thing gets scary gets his demon voice. I don't think you know that, but I do get growly when I get really annoyed. Do you like colorized older films, or is it vandalism? I don't think it's vandalism, but I think it's completely unnecessary and pointless. I don't know why anyone would do that. I mean, it like, you could make the argument that they would have shot in color if they could have. Yes, but they didn't. And they shot for what they had. They shot for it to be viewed in black and white. Yeah, no, I don't get that. I will never understand colorization. If Eric Roberts was any worse in Big Finish, it would have looped back and become Tommy Wiseau levels of brilliant. Fair point. That was one of the big problems with Spectre, the unnecessary linking of Daniel Craig era films. Yes! Holy crap, yeah. Oh, that movie pissed me off so much. There has to be continuity for everything laughs in 57-year-old show. See, here's my opinion of continuity in general. I love continuity nods. I love acknowledgments of the continuity. I like plucking a piece out of it and like doing something new with it, or even just a name drop. I love acknowledgments of continuity. What I hate is getting tied up in the continuity. Because if you take continuity too seriously, it actually really limits what you're able to do. Because you're tied in knots trying to make the continuity work. And I just think that's a waste of effort and talent. I guess that's the beauty of the TARDIS. No need to build connecting bridges to go between places and times. Yes, you'd think. Which modern Who companion is least likely to return? At this point, I'd probably say Donna, which saddens me, but I'm gonna stick to that just because they'd have to explain why her head doesn't explode. And I guess they did that once before, but like, that's the thing about Donna. Like, you can't bring her back and have it be the same again, even accounting for the fact that it's a new Doctor, because she's not supposed to remember. Would you ever consider doing overdue reviews of Torchwood? That is sort of on the list of things where I think somebody would have to pay me. I mean, that's how you folks got the review of Children of Earth. Somebody actually commissioned that. I don't think I like Torchwood enough to sink the time into it of my own accord. I think somebody would have to commission me. Things that try to be edgy, even worse when they are poor imitations of great works that happen to be dark and assumes you'll like them just because they were dark. I mean, well, that was the entire kickoff to the dark age of comic books, right? Because it was largely kicked off by The Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen, both of which are really good stories that happen to be dark. But they're not good because they're dark. But a million friggin' imitators came in after that, thinking, oh, well, we just need to do dark comics. Then we got the 90s. Oh, God, the 90s. Oh, hey, Ava. Didn't see you there. My headcanon, Amy begged the angel to send her back in time where it sent Rory. The angel touched by her voluntary sacrifice for the power of love, weeps for real and grants her request. Oh, I like that. Amy and Rory land back in New York in 1970 in an alleyway. Just as a young girl finishes her regeneration back into a toddler, that would have been the twist in PS. Oh, I like that too. Yeah, it's definitely my headcanon. It's like Doctor says Arthur Dent, he means a person who travels the universe in a dressing gown, not the Hitchhiker's Guide, not that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Doctor Who are connected. Well, I've actually talked about that. I never want that confirmed, but I actually kind of like the idea that they might be. What must we do to get you to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender? Create more time. See, unlike, say, Torchwood, I don't feel like I need somebody to pay me to get to Avatar. I'll get to it eventually, but the problem is I've got all this other stuff that I have been paid to watch and review that I'm trying to catch up on. And so, you know, I'm sure I will like it when I eventually get to it. If you want to bump it up my priority list, yeah, somebody could commission me. You can't be grumpy, you don't have the eyebrows for it. Oh, look. I may not have Capaldi level attack eyebrows, but I can wield these, all right? I'm calling it Jennifer Hudson is winning Best Actress for Respect. It's gonna be an odd award season, just because it's gonna be so few options. I always interpret the Doctor being half human as metaphorical. Well, if you watch that TV movie, no, they make it very literal. They make it a plot point, because it's why the Master can't open the Eye of Harmony, because he's all Time Lord, whereas the Doctor's half human. So it's not just the tossed off line that the Doctor has. They actually made it a plot point in that thing. Imagine if Captain Jack met the Sixth Doctor Noble brows and strong jaws all around. So, if you could choose who would be the 14th Doctor, honestly, I just give it to Joe Martin. List of things to annoy Vera: timeless child, Clara, half-human doctor, sex gas, Torchwood episode, Time Lords are evolved humans. Oh God, you people are keeping track of ways to annoy me. I'm giving you so much ammunition. I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be an awesome Doctor. Look, I like Benedict Cumberbatch, but like he's gotten embedded in too many things that I like at this point. You know, he's in Marvel, he's Sherlock. He was in the Lord of the Rings movie. I mean, you know, the bad Hobbit ones, but like he's in too many things. I don't need him in everything. I mean, I'm starting to get fatigue on Cumberbatch, if I'm being honest. He's a good actor, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm ready for a break. From what I've seen, Angel's kind of for Buffy what Big Finish is for Doctor Who. It takes characters and makes them better. To a certain extent, keep an eye on Wesley, because Wesley's character journey over the course of Angel, I think is one of the best long-term character arcs in TV. Is there ever a show that no one could pay you to do a review for? No. I am for sale. I have my price, but I am for sale. I can't think of anything that if you paid me that I wouldn't do it. Because you also have to realize if you're paying me to watch an entire season of television, chump change. So if someone's actually going to pay me that, yeah, sure. Why not? Do you eat hummus? If so, what do you eat it with? I like it with pita chips, and I prefer garlic hummus. I would love to see David Tennant and Jodie Whittaker play off each other as their respective doctors. That could be fun. Do you prefer the Bohemian Rhapsody film or Rocketman? Oh, Rocketman's a million miles better than Bohemian Rhapsody. And I liked Bohemian Rhapsody fine, but yeah, no, the Rocketman was so much better. There was a kids' TV show I used to watch called Hounded that had no continuity because the end of each episode, a device called the reverse button, which reversed the day. Huh, that's one way to do it. Fun fact, Tommy Wiseau wanted his character in the room to have a floating car, and his defense was maybe he vampire. Yeah, I heard about that. 60th anniversary, end of the episode, Whittaker says to Capaldi, just so you know, I was kind. Capaldi gives a look of confusion, then does his signature smile. That'd be nice. Being stuck in quarantine reminds some of The Shining. All work and no play. Make Jack a dull boy. Do you like the book? I want to try something subversive. A mystery the protagonist audience wants solved that becomes about the protagonist learning empathy for the people involved instead. That could work. Hamilton movie's coming to Disney Plus on the 3rd. Are you doing a review on it? I'm not planning to. I would like to see it. I don't have Disney Plus. Doesn't mean I won't see it at some point, but I haven't carved out time to do it. I doubt it, but have you ever watched Scream Queens? Nope. Yeah, I'm glad Doctor Who went off the air through the 90s because they went through a similar thing the comics did, simply through books. Horrible things happening to the Doctor and Companion. Oh God, really? Ew. Ever seen Full Metal Alchemist? A friend of mine recently introduced it to me. I have. I've seen the entire run of the original Full Metal Alchemist. I have mixed feeling about it, like I do on a lot of animes. Look, it's good, but there's certain tropes and staples of anime that I just don't. Are we back? Okay. I hope that was actually down during the time I thought it was, because I was swearing. Anyways, so Full Metal Alchemist, it was fine, but there's certain conventions of anime I just don't enjoy, and Full Metal Alchemist had pretty much all of them. I started Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and was immediately reminded of those same conventions of anime that I don't like. And at least early on, it didn't deviate enough from the original for me to feel like I should keep going with it. I've heard a lot of people say it's much better and later on goes in its own direction, but I didn't like the original enough to push through Brotherhood. Ever done a review of Spider-Man Reign, comic where Peter kills Mary Jane because of his radioactive fluids? Yes, this is real. I'm aware of it. I've never read it. But yeah, well, God, they did so many things like, this will be this character's The Dark Knight Returns. And the same thing with Superman. It was called At Earth's End. That was nonsense too. I just want there to be an episode where the Doctor has a hangover and deals with all the monsters in the laziest way possible. Yeah, that'd be fun. Can we hear your Capaldi impression? You don't want to hear me trying to do accents. Because like I like to think I'm decent at accents, but I know in my heart of hearts that I'm not. Like the only impressions I can do are like Stitch and Gollum. They tried to make the Doctor being half human metaphorical and Hellbent. Recoils in fear for more shouting. I haven't rewatched Hellbent in a while, so nah. Jack meeting the Sixth Doctor already happened. Oh, when did that happen in? Rolls around in Vera ammo. Have you ever actually made a video of Sherlock? Yeah, I did video reviews for the last series. So those last 3 episodes. Largely complaining about it. Because, wow. Cumberbatch would be a better master than Doctor. I'd be more open to that. Richard, I can never know how to pronounce this guy's last name. Would be a terrific Doctor. I don't think he'd ever do it. See, I don't think he would. I seem to be alone on that. I've seen a lot of people float his name, but like, I don't know. I don't feel it. I might need to give up trying to get back to these questions that have happened. Would you ever do a video game review? I'm gonna kind of be doing one on the break room next month. Like, you need to realize I don't have current gaming stuff, so anything I talk about is gonna be retro. What do you think about the new Bill and Ted and the franchise as a whole? I think they're fun movies. I did a reaction to the trailer over in the break room of Geeks. I hope it's good. What makes Rocket Man better? Have heard mixed reviews, still haven't watched it. What makes Rocket Man better is the simple conceit of it is a musical. They use Elton John's own music to tell the story of his life by turning his life into a musical. It's a very simple conceit. I'm shocked I'd never seen it done before, but it makes all the difference because ultimately, at the end of the day, both Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man are very standard finding fame and then, you know, things start to come apart stories for rock stars. It's the same story you've seen a million times if you've ever seen any kind of story like this. But that little difference makes Rocket Man feel much fresher than Bohemian Rhapsody does. Clara might be in the 60th. I don't have a question. I just want to say love your hair. Thank you. Let's see. When the stream went down now, you should have opened it back up with, hello, boys, I'm back. Is there anything subversive that's really worked for you? Depends on what you think about subversive. I mean, when he's not deconstructing Star Wars, I think that Rian Johnson does really good subversion of expectations and genre tropes in things like Knives Out and Brothers Bloom and Looper. Have you ever seen the 1996 version of 101 Dalmatians? Glenn Close is a bombshell in that movie. I've seen bits and pieces. I was a little old for it when that came out, and I never circled back on it. Have you ever seen Community? I did a couple of episodes and I wasn't hooked. I did something else. I've always wanted a multi-doctor story where the future doctor tries to move around the past doctor's adventure without messing it up. That could work. Big Finish usually managed to be more adult without being gratuitous, the big exceptions being Necromancia? That thing I once told you was the worst episode in Doctor Who. Oh, yeah! I remember you mentioning that. Anyone who taunts you with Hellbent hasn't seen your worst episode list by Moffat. Yeah, taunting me with Hellbent, that's something you do at your own risk. Just remind you of terrible comics, All-Star Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder, where in all seriousness, Batman says, I love being the goddamn Batman. Yeah, I know all about the goddamn Batman. And thanks to Linkara, I didn't have to read it myself. Have you ever heard the Big Finish spin-off Small Beginning? Nope. Jack meeting the Sixth Doctor was in Big Finish. It was so funny because the majority of the story was Jack pretending to be the Doctor and wearing his outfit. Haha. Ever watch Fleabag? Nope. Sarcasm incoming. I know you don't have any whack tweets from 10 years ago, so if you don't watch Avatar, we'll leak your second Hellbent review. When all else fails, drink until the problem is gone. Next month is tomorrow. Oh God, you're right. What made you decide to make the break room? It was part of a long-term goal in wanting to have the stuff that I put up in the main channel be a bit more polished and have a bit more work put into them. And I didn't have the time to do that with the video release schedule that I had. But I also knew I didn't want to fully abandon the more relaxed, laid back, just sit in front of a camera and ramble thing that I have been doing for so long. But I wanted that to be moved somewhere that wasn't on a fixed schedule, wasn't like, I gotta have these videos out, blah, 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 at these dates, always. It's something that I do just because I have the time and it's fun, and ideally freeing me up to put more time into the things that go up on this channel. That's the hope and the plan. We'll see how it pans out. Thoughts on Good Omens, or is it taboo? Book was good, show was great. Let's see. Would you agree that we need to see Jodie's Doctor's dark side? I don't know if we do. I need to see her build like a proper, real connection with a companion. That's what I need. I had an idea for a master in a club giving drunken advice to people, who want to destroy the Doctor based off his most stupid schemes. See, what you gotta do, you gotta help the Doctor, like, stop the universe from blowing up, but then, like, you get on, like, a speaker phone and, like, tell the universe, I am now in control of the universe, and everyone give me all control or I'll let it explode. I am so smart. That's Legopolis, for the record, which is a stupid episode. I'm sorry. I know it's beloved, and I know that Fourth Doctor fans are all get all choked up about it. But there's some interesting concepts in it. But the Master specifically is really dumb in that. It's not good. What do you think about Yesterday? It was better than today was. No, and the movie, the thing with the Beatles, I didn't see it. Have you heard that Richard Armitage has been cast as Rassilon in the audios? He's got the voice for it. Yeah, that could work. Angel, proper review? Probably not unless somebody paid me, because to do them properly, I'd have to rewatch them. Not to mention the fact that Passion of the Nerd is really doing the definitive Buffy review work right now on YouTube, and I can't measure up to that. Have you read the original story of The Little Mermaid? It's dark. Yes, I have. And yes, it is. I'm the gosh darn doctor. Do you think Frank Miller killed some of his other works because he tried to tie it back to The Dark Knight Returns? No, I think Frank Miller killed his works because he lost touch with his own talent and sunk into a very dark place that came out in the worst way in his written works. That's what I think happened to Frank Miller. How old are you? I am 38. Saw someone suggest Michael Palin would be a good master. Huh. I don't think I see that. I'm not saying he's incapable of doing it. I'm just not sure I'd buy it. Anthony Head is the doctor. I mean, yeah, I'm here for it. Finally watched V for Vendetta. Watching the nitpick rant, I really didn't think it was supposed to be a twist that it was V. It drags that scene out so friggin' long, though. I mean, my big issue with that isn't that it's a twist. That just makes it feel insulting. My big issue with that is it lays out plainly stuff that we could have inferred. So we have this lengthy scene that makes these other characters look stupid, because if as an audience member you catch that it's V, which it's almost impossible not to realize, and the cops don't friggin' realize it, they look stupid now, and it just conveys information that was much better left inferred, and it was very well inferred. It's a pointless scene. It should not be in the movie. Have you seen Peaky Blinders? I have not. I'm not drunk. I don't think. I don't know. I'll know when I stand up. That's my big indicator, is when I stand up if I feel woozy. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think is the most overrated Doctor Who episode? I don't know. Most of the ones that are considered to be really good, I do tend to like. So off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Which Doctor would you like to get drunk with? 11th. I bet he'd be fun drunk. 12 would be an angry drunk. That's my favorite Doctor, but no. Imagine Helena Bonham Carter, Helen McCrory, Jodie Whittaker, David Tennant, Michelle Gomez, Benedict Cumberbatch, Eddie Redmayne, Tom Hiddleston, Matt Smith in one room together. Okay. So they're in a room. I do not know what is going on tonight. Seriously, this has gotten ridiculous. I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon just for my own sanity. I'm so tired of seeing the Batman Bruce Wayne story in film, so ready for Batman Beyond or Nightwing. Batman Beyond I'm down for. Did you actually listen to the Good Omens Quarantine? I'm not sure what that is, so I guess not. Did you see the rumors about Michael Keaton and Flash movie? Thoughts? I saw the rumors. Until there's confirmation, I don't have an opinion. It's not like some kind of journalistic integrity, because I'm not a journalist, but the reason I don't comment on rumors is I refuse to sink a bunch of my mental energies into something that is probably not true. I actually love the Master Decision in Legopolis because it's so stupid. At least you acknowledge that it's stupid. If you like it for that reason, that's fair enough. He's that desperate mental for power that he might just destroy the universe anyway. See, the thing is, it's not that he's threatening to destroy the universe. It's that he literally just gets on basically a universe-wide PA system and says, "Give me control of your planets." It's so dumb. Every time you go on these streams and chug alcohol, I can't help but take it personally. Really? Why? Bill Murray for the Master 2021. No. I see the lull at the end of that, even as a joke. No. Anthony Head is fantastic in a British Radio Dickens parody called Bleak Expectations, where he plays the Hammies villain. Oh, I bet he has a blast doing that. Hellbent is good. No, it's not. One day, I'm surprised no one has done a story where the Master takes over the Doctor's body, becomes the Doctor, basically Joker and Arkham Knight, but with Doctor Who. I'm not a huge fan of body takeover stories, if I'm going to be completely honest. So why should I run for Prime Minister? Just trust me, all right? It'll work. Just don't get married. Turns out the drumming was just a hangover. Oh, yes, the Discord. I'm sorry, Carolyn. I'm sorry. I drank too much water. Oh, my goodness. I am very sorry. Just give me a second. When I first saw V for Vendetta, I thought for a brief second that Mark Gatiss was playing Rookwood. Remember to drink water before you go to sleep tonight? That was water! Ugh. Sorry, give me a second. Ten would be a mopey drunk, yeah. I'm sorry, Karen. I feel like a real ass now. And now I'm seeing that other people were saying like, hey, listen. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see. So I know there was one that had been asked earlier that's like a holdover question, so hang on. There are various classic books I'd like to try and read, The Hobbit, for example, but whilst I've never been diagnosed as dyslexic or anything, I've always struggled to get to grips with novels. Would it be cheating if I tried audiobooks instead? No, absolutely not. However you take it in, it's still the same story. I mean, it's not like watching the movie and saying you read the book, because that's been changed and trimmed and adapted. But like an audio, it's somebody reading the book. No, that's not cheating. That's fine. And I'll point out, if you don't watch Dominic Noble, who's a fantastic YouTuber, does Lost in Adaptation, he's talked about being dyslexic and that a lot of the things that he reviews in the books that he reads are the audio version, because it's hard for him to actually read it off the page a lot of the time. So no, there's no shame in that. Let's see. I've seen very little James Bond outside of the Daniel Craig films. I wanted to challenge myself to watch at least one from each of the other Bond actors. What would you recommend? See, I'm actually a bad person to ask because I'm not as well versed in Bond as some people. So like, for instance, I haven't seen On Her Majesty's Secret Service, so I haven't seen George Lazenby, and I haven't seen either of the Timothy Dalton ones. But that having been said, if you're going to do Connery, it should be Goldfinger. And with Roger Moore, I'm actually partial to For Your Eyes Only, personally. Lazenby, you've only got one option. I've heard The Living Daylights is the better option for Timothy Dalton. And for Pierce Brosnan, Goldeneye. Easily. Those would be the ones I'd recommend if you want a taste of all of them. Let's see. Some of my favorite film memories and learning about film as a child were staying up late over holidays and being able to stay up and watch late night classics, for example, Marx Brothers or Universal Horrors. What were your formative film viewing experiences? Well, the thing for me was I spent my childhood watching movies instead of TV because I didn't have, I think I mentioned this elsewhere, but when I was growing up, my mother hated television. Not TV shows, but she hated commercials and she hated the news. So I didn't have TV growing up. We didn't even have rabbit ears, not even local channels, not even PBS. What we had instead was we had a VCR, a whole bunch of movies, a local video store, and my grandmother had cable, so she would occasionally record things off of cable and send us tapes. So my formative viewing experiences was a lot of movies growing up. I mean, that was what I consumed, and I would watch and rewatch the same movies over and over again. And that just sort of, that was the visual medium language I came to know. I wasn't watching TV. I was watching movies, including older movies. Like my childhood dog, which was a dachshund, her name was Rose. And I named her after Katharine Hepburn's character in The African Queen. So I had my share of classic movies growing up. All right, coming back to the chat. Would you do a review about Dr. Horrible? Probably not if I wasn't paid. When did you get the lava lamp? I love the colors. The lava lamp's been there since I moved my filming setup. I haven't remembered to turn it on for every video, but it's been there. I would actually like a body takeover story for the master, but with a random person, except make it a Dr. Light episode, slow-paced psychological horror. Maybe. On the movie page, I'm getting Batman and Robin recommended. YouTube is being taken over by bots. I think the reason you're getting Batman and Robin recommended is because Joel Schumacher passed away recently. And so talking about his movies in general is probably trending as far as the algorithm is concerned. So that's probably the reason. Actually, I kind of wanted to touch on that. Like, for me, it's a shame that people seem to associate Joel Schumacher's name with Batman and Robin, because I think of him as the guy who directed Lost Boys and Phone Booth and Falling Down. The guy made legitimately good movies. So, do you think other Doctor Who stories should be adapted to stage? I don't know. I'm not sure which ones would even make that translation. I really like reading the physical book with the audio read by someone good once in a while. Is that weird? No, I don't think so. Makes sense to me. The outro for the streams reminds me of that audiobook the guy in the crane from Series 11 of Doctor Who had. Okay. Not even sure what you mean by that. Lewis Mahoney, who played Old Billy in Blink, passed away this week. Oh, that's a shame. Someone else just essentially asked a similar question to my favorite Bond films. I love For Your Eyes Only. I feel like that one doesn't come up in conversation a lot, but from the Roger Moore ones I've seen, it's the least campy. Excuse me. Also, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that a lot. Classic Who or Modern Who? Depends on what you're after. Like, I came into this on Modern Who. I'm going to rewatch Modern Who a lot more. But there are things about Classic Who that I do appreciate. Like its ability to take a slower pace. And to take more time. And to have the Doctor have to work harder to figure something out. Because there's the time for him to do that. And so it's not just waving the sonic screwdriver at everything. There's a lot of things that I appreciate about Classic Who, but ultimately, if I'm going to sit down and watch Doctor Who for fun, it's going to be modern. I'm also partial to For Your Eyes Only. Think it's probably Roger Moore's best performance, even though my favorite from his era is The Spy Who Loved Me. Oh God, Dotson. If you were a Time Lord and we are the Council, does that mean you would be known as the Administrator? Not a very intimidating title, is it? Sounds very bureaucratic. When is the novel coming out? Indie or traditional? It's got to be self-published. I've accepted that at this point. And I don't know. I'm really trying to get it knuckled down to have it out this year. I'm not going to make promises because I'm having a really hard time finding the time to work on the edit. But we'll see. Mentioned the Good Omens quarantine a few streams back. Basically, Tennant and Sheen discussing the lockdown as Crowley and Aziraphale. No, I hadn't seen that. I have seen some episodes of Staged that those two did. Those are a lot of fun. How do I delete the entire portion of the internet that's still ranting about the sequel trilogy of Star Wars? You can't. Just don't go to that part of the internet. Like, I didn't even know people are still yelling about that. Because I don't go there. I think Unicorn and the Wasp would be a perfect story to adapt to stage. That one would adapt pretty smoothly. Do you watch My Little Pony? I'm assuming you mean the new one, Friendship is Magic. No, I don't. The most underrated episode of Doctor Who includes The Face of Evil, The Doctor's Wife, Under the Lake Before the Flood, Return of Dr. Mysterio, and Can You Hear Me? I'll agree with those last two. I don't feel like Doctor's Wife is underrated. I feel like that's a pretty well-liked episode. Face of Evil I haven't seen yet. If Doctor Who had to go away forever, how would you end it? I wouldn't. You do not, even if the show, for some reason, had to end and could never start up again, you still don't put a definitive ending on it. You end with the Doctor, whatever Doctor, going off to continue to have more adventures, and we just don't see them. Favorite first story? For me, it has to be the Aztecs. See, I recently watched that. There's going to be a video going up on the break room about that. For me, it's going to be Dalek Invasion of Earth. What's your favorite Classic Who episode? Mine is Legopolis. The one I made fun of earlier in the stream. And the City of Death. What was up with 13 using her Sonic to untie a rope? I mean, I get it if she was shown to be like a lazy character, but she isn't. I don't know. The Sonic gets... Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with the Sonic having a bajillion functions. I do think narratively it gets overused. I've discovered the Lego dimension called the Dalek Extermination of Earth. It's genuinely funny. It's always nice to see slight parodies of Doctor Who. Nice. Forgot to say this as well. If they want to bring Donna back, they could do it at a point in their timeline when she was traveling with Tennant. Oh, that's true. That would work. How are you watching Staged? I don't need sleep. I need answers. There were episodes up on YouTube. Possibly not legally. They might be down now. But that's where I was seeing it. How do you think Werner Herzog would direct a season of Doctor Who? Chaotically. A Doctor Who episode that I think was adapted into a stage play was Midnight. That would actually be really difficult. For some of those dialogue bits. But as far as staging it, it's a bottle episode. Yeah, that would work. What's your favorite Broadway musical? Next to Normal. Sean Pertwee, who played Alfred in Gotham, should play the third Doctor in the 60th anniversary special. See, I don't want Sean to play his father's Doctor. I actually would like him to play the Doctor, but I'd like him to play his own Doctor. Have you watched Snowpiercer TV series? I have not. I saw the movie, but I haven't seen the show. Ever watch MST3K? A few back in the day. More important, how to bring Wilf back for the 60th. That I'm in favor of. The thing I like about Ainley's performance in Legopolis is how still his face is. Like he hasn't worked out how to operate the muscles yet. Legopolis is good. It has its flaws, but it's still good. I'm biased as it was my first Classic Who episode, and season 18 was my favorite Classic Who season. Fair. Biases exist. Started Broadchurch recently, only one episode in. It's already a... Oh, they're in Doctor Who fest. Yeah, a little bit. Did you watch the new Red Dwarf? I haven't yet. It's supposed to be hitting BritBox tail end of July, so I'll get to see it then. One thing that took me out of the Aztecs was Ian, a teacher taking on Aztec warriors, the 60s. Yeah, but wasn't his backstory that he was a veteran? Like, isn't that part of his background, or did I imagine that? Oh, I think I might need to wrap this up soon. Don't really like Legopolis, but I haven't seen Legopolis, but I do really like Castrovalve. Castrovalve is great. I do agree with that. That is a very good episode. Whew. Boy, that should be a clue right there. Okay. Oh, so yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, I think. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm sorry it was kind of grouchy. I'm sorry for all the technical hiccups this time. Let's bring Frobisher for the 60th. Or at least reference him. That'd be nice. It's been a long day. Yeah, it has. Carowin, yes, it has. We all have to admit that City of Death had the best cameo in Doctor Who ever. It was a good one. We all know the best master is the stand-in from the movie. So yeah, I am gonna wrap it up. I hope everybody has a good night. Stay safe, stay well, be kind, and just remember that you are the council. I just run the meetings, at least for as long as the drinks hold out. And also remember that you are beautiful, you are valid, you are loved. You're the council. I'm just running the meetings. Have a good night.